In analysing the technique of this painting, you first look at the size of the artwork. As you can see on the top there, it's 260 centimetres by 325, a huge piece. Delacroix was asked to create an epic for the French Revolution, so the sheer size of this is the first start to him making that piece. You can also see that the artwork is oil on canvas, another thing that you need to talk about when talking about technique. Looking up the properties of oil and ensuring you understand how it's used and how the pigments work will be a real help. After looking at the size and the medium of the artwork, you can now look at the specific effects that Delacroix has made within his technique. In the background you can see the sky is quite wispy and light. He's created this by using big broad brush strokes and quite dry with the oil that's used as well. You can see here as well the real use of reds, like the warm colours, creates almost a sense of the heat of battle in different areas, like here, here and here. The use of aerial perspective is also used a lot by Delacroix, firstly in the city and how everything is receding as it gets further away, but also with the figures in the background where their definition seems to diminish for every bit that goes further away. Other areas that we can look at is the use of focal point. Pretty clearly the focal point in this picture is Liberty right in the middle. You can see pretty much in this whole area, right in the midriff, Delacroix really makes that stand out as a focal point, mostly as she's a key person in the image. A few ways that he's made her stand out, probably you can see the use of the light around her head, almost like a halo effect, making her even more divine, but that real contrast, especially here in the arm area, very dark against a very light background. Also very light tones around the chest area, and even a lot of detail has been used in this section to really make her stand out as a chief figure. We can also see a lot of the action is geared towards her. The man's gun pointed very much in that direction. The eye gaze coming from the man and this man, and also the female down here. Everything very much is getting geared towards her as the main figure. We can also see this very light section of the male's leg is also very prominent and still leading up towards the main figure. The city in the background also leans on that kind of edge towards her. Even the darks against the lights merging up against the young boy makes it pretty evident that everything is getting geared towards her. Just rub that out. We can also see, almost with these lines that are getting made, a triangle for composition. The triangle composition, triangles in real life are quite aggressive, quite strong. So using a triangle here has that same idea, but also trying to make it almost like a crescendo or like a pinnacle of the key figure. Perfect triangle almost created there with her arm against the flagpole. We also again see the gun pointing upward and probably her head going past the boy's head and down to that corner. We see a real link into creating a big triangle. Again, those key areas of the city, of the leg, and the eye gaze and movement of the back, everything leads up very much in a strong triangle. Again, rub out those lines. Another aspect that Delacroix has used is probably the use of the detail in the figures. You can see how I used the term before, aerial perspective. It is common in this picture, but we see a real tight, sharp use of the oil paint on the key figure of Liberty, and also we can see far more definition in these key figures in comparison to the figures we see in the background. Pretty consistent use of blues and reds throughout. The French flag is probably a big reason for that, but you can see blues getting pushed in throughout the whole piece. The blue in the flag, in the sky, and very much rotates around. Same with the red. Red's used as almost like the big power part. A lot of blood and a lot of passion comes out of the colour red, and it does circle around the image in a big circle with not much other than the surrounding areas getting used for that red, just to keep the composition strong. Probably the final one to talk about in respects to the technique is the use of the colour and the detail within Liberty's garment. It is quite flowing and quite beautiful, whereas you can see with the boys' jacket and the general suit jackets and hats and the like, they're very sharp and they're very basic in their tone. But her dress has a real flow and femininity to it. Even her hair or belt, flowing off in the wind has a beautiful calmness to it. Very much contrasted against the guns and the sharp angles that you can see. In this assignment we're also looking at Zhongxing Sargent's Gast from 1918. Again, first thing you probably should be looking at is the size of the canvas, or whatever medium it's on. Here it's huge, over 2 metres tall and 6 metres long.